Morning, everybody. Well, you know, I've always said there's always something to be done on the rancho, and today is no exception. We have a really sloppy workshop. Okay? Rosie, no, I'm not as neat as I could be, but I keep trying. Let's head over to the workshop. First, because I do have a backup generator here, it's important that this generator be run at least once a month or so. Keep it in tip-top condition. So I did put some more fuel in, not a lot, but enough. So I'm going to put it under load here and see what we get. Power here on the rancho, especially when you're working in the back. Let me tell you, as opposed to stringing 300 feet of extension cord, it's great. So I'm gonna let that run a couple more minutes. Let's go into the shop. All right, maybe you say, oh, it's not as bad as it could be, but yeah, it's pretty rough in here. I need to order up some more lights. I like the LED type that we use out in Kitchen Stadium. They don't use really any power at all, and maybe a little more lighting would be nice. This is my plumbing box here, and I also have an electrical box, and I really need, I'm not going to be able to do it today, but I really need to go through the electrical box and figure out get everything organized. There's so many individual parts, wire nuts and things in there. It's a mess. I also, somebody had thrown these clippers away, and these are really powerful, really good clippers, Red Rooster. So I need to go ahead and get some JB Weld and get this figured out. But again, it's not going to be for today. I need to get this cleaned up because I've got, we've been working on this, the quadraphonic Marantz here, and I need to get this fixed. I ordered parts, they came, we've changed out a few things here, but we need to get on these boards, these output boards, and get the capacitors changed in that, and I think we'll be pretty much ready to go. But I can't do anything till I get all of this stuff put away. For those of you who don't know, one of my passions is vintage audio, and I'll show you the result of that. Some of you may not have seen. I enjoy restoring vintage audio gear from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. I'll show you inside. This is the fabled Wall of Sound, and it's one of the greatest private collections of vintage audio. If not in America, certainly in California. And it goes all the way back to 1958, 1959, here with a very, very early Pioneer unit SMQ 300B. This was really the glory days, and all through my Fisher row, the great Fishers, the pride of my collection. Lots of Harman Kardon, lots of Kenwood, lots of Marantz. It's just a wonderful, wonderful setup. And over here I have what I call the Wall of Amplitude. This one I have a special non-fondness for, this H.H. Scott 232B amplifier, because this is the one that one of the big capacitors blew up in the shop. And if you haven't seen that before, boy, that's worth that's definitely worth a look, called Explosion in the Shop. So there it is. That's what I enjoy doing. How many of these are restored? I would say about 2/3 of these. And it's always been a fun passion. I'm about ready to start selling some of this off. This is the first one I did, the Hampton 80 FM 80. And you can see the restoration. All of these have restoration videos. If you go down to the vintage audio restoration list, you can see them, as well as vintage audio listening experiences. And here's my pride and joy. a 1960 Motorola 21 tube stereo console. So, all right, enough goofing around. Let's get into the shop. I have quite a tool collection here, but I need them all for work I do around the rancho because the projects never end over here. But I guess I'm going to start with the workbench first and get that cleaned up today, and then we'll take it from there. Here's one of the consequences for being a slob. What do you, how many hacksaws do you really need? We got 2. That means when it comes time when you really need the hacksaw, you can't find the doggone thing. So what do? You run out and get another hacksaw. And as if that's not embarrassing enough, we float over here, and what do we got over here? We got another hacksaw. Whoo! Life is beautiful when you're butt deep in hacksaws. There's my little pride and joy, a 1928 General Electric oscillating fan. You know, this thing weighs, let's see if we get this thing oscillating. There we go. This thing weighs about 30 pounds. This is when stuff was really built. And here we are almost 100 years later, and this baby's still rocking, keeping the workshop nice and cool. We bring good things to life. One of my passions was always fixing up old computers and stuff, so kind of cool. I fired up this Inspiron 1525 by Dell. I don't know if it's, you know, it still seems to be working okay. Right? My main workhorse for putting audio off of YouTube playlist onto vintage audio listening experiences. Well, let's give a little update. We've been at this for about 2 hours so far. We got our plumbing, electrical, and miscellaneous crapola box over there, and I'm pretty happy about the way things are going. This is my boondocking box over here when I go out in my, I haven't done it in a couple years, but go out in the van, and overnight I like to be able to cook a little bit on the road. I don't have a cook plate anymore. I mean, I could definitely have one with the generator, a hot plate or something like that. So things are coming along pretty good. Anybody want a moonshine filter over there, or a scale? Nice little scale. So all right, let's get into the home stretch here. In the home stretch, it certainly is looking a lot better and a lot cleaner. I can finally see where everything is. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the final wire cleanup, get everything all hanked up, and then sweep it out, call it good, and then we'll finish with a little bit of fun today, a little bit of Tchaikovsky, and a little bit of the famous True Test 1-watt stereo amplifier. Pretty cool. Ooh, I know I look a wreck, but guess what? The job is done, and the place is looking pretty doggone good. Gets me excited for the kickoff of another vintage audio restoration season here, coming up in 2023 and 24. I can see my workbench again. How great is that? Anyway, guys, we'll leave with a little bit of a treat today. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications. Vintage audio has been a real hallmark of this channel, as it will be in the future too. I'd love you to be a part of it. Thumbs up are appreciated, and don't be like me. Don't let your place become a mess. Thanks, everybody.